Hi everyone, today's STEM experiments is all about the science of bubbles, and we will be talking about surface tension, how bubbles form, why bubbles pop, and how to make the best bubbles. So let's get started. Before we get into bubbles as you know it, we're going to talk about something called surface tension. In this cup, I have a paper clip floating on the surface of the water. The reason it can float is because of surface tension. Surface tension just means that water molecules like to stick together, and that is why the paperclip is floating on the top instead of sinking. If I put the tip of this Q-tip with nothing in it in the water, nothing happens. The paperclip stays floating. But if I put some soap on the edge of this Q-tip and put it in the water, the paperclip sinks. And that is because the soap broke the surface tension of the water. Now, how does this relate to bubbles? Well, without surface tension, bubbles wouldn't be able to form. And in our next experiment, I'll show you why. So bubbles and surface tension, how do they go together? Well, I have here a bubble wand with bubble mixture, which is just mainly soap and water. So we can make bubbles that float in the air. But do you think we can make bubbles that float in the air with just water? Here I have a cup and a straw, and I'm going to add air here. And so we're making bubbles, right? But they're not separating from each other. They're staying in the cup, they're popping almost right away, and that is because of surface tension. Like we discussed earlier, bubbles, water likes to stick together. So the soap is making a difference. And the reason for that is, like we saw in the last experiment, soap breaks water's surface tension. So they can stretch apart and float away. Now this is what a bubble is pretty much made of. It's a pocket of air, and then around the air is a layer of soap, a layer of water, and then another layer of soap. So there's a layer of water sandwiched in between two layers of soap. And the soap is breaking apart that surface tension, and it is also keeping the bubbles intact. But bubbles pop, right? And why do you think they pop? So that water that we see in between the two layers of soap does go away. It evaporates, and that's what causes the bubble to pop. Some bubble mixtures, I don't know if this one does, have either glycerin or corn syrup, and that slows down the evaporation of the water, which makes it so bubbles stick around longer. So at the end of this video, I'm going to show you a recipe for a super bubble mix that has some glycerin or corn syrup to make your bubbles stick around. All right, that is the science of bubbles, and I hope you had fun with this one. I'll see you again for our next STEM experiment. Bye.